Hey, this is DJ Charl Hoops, and you are currently tuned in to the British Invasion Metal and Variety Show right here on 95.1 WDCR Community Radio, streaming live at www.wdcr.ca and on MixLR. I have a huge treat for you in this show. I am joined in the studio with Kelowna metal band Irradiation, and I will be playing two of their songs off their EPs titled First Strike and Retaliate, as well as songs from Slaves, No Doubt, Van Hulst and Audio Slave. I am so excited for this show. So you just heard the amazing Wolf Alice to open the show, and they walked away with the award for the best song at the NME Awards. That was based in Austin, Texas a few weeks back. Such an awesome band. Much like this next one. So here are some grunge legends, Stone Temple Pilots with Dead and Bloated. Montreal metal band Van Hulst with Save Me. That is a band I've discovered while I've been out here in Canada, and they are so cool. Their debut album, World of Make Believe, is available via iTunes and Bandcamp now, so go and check that out if you like what you heard. But speaking of awesome Canadian bands, if you've just tuned in to WDCR Community Radio, then you are in for a real treat. You are currently listening to DJ Charl Hoops, and I'm joined in the studio with the lovely guys of Kelowna metal band Irradiation. Guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Super happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks.
Brilliant. So let's start with introducing yourself. So what's your name and what's your role within the band?
Well, my name's Justin Bilodeau. I originally played bass when we were a three-piece, but now I currently play electric guitar, and I'm the lead vocalist of the band.
My name's Matthew Parson. I'm the guitar player.
I'm Kyle Templeton, and I play bass.
I'm Curtis Hoekstra. I play drums.
And just out of curiosity, what sort of age range is there in the group?
Sorry?
I'm 25.
23?
22.
22.
Cool. So what's the history like of Irradiation? Kurt, am I right in saying that you're not actually a founding member of the band?
It's actually me and Justin, Matthew and Justin. We started the band together one day after we both went to college together, and one day after school we just went over to Justin's house and I sat on the drums and he played guitar, and we started writing material, and we were really happy about it. So we kept spending more time together, and sure enough, we got another guitar player who isn't in the band anymore, unfortunately, but that's kind of how it all began. And we just kept going and going. And then eventually, we got Curtis in the band. So I was drumming, Justin was playing bass, and Curtis was playing guitar. And then one day me and Curtis decided we were going to switch. So I jumped on guitar and he jumped on drums, and we were just so comfortable. Like, we felt a lot better.
More natural.
It definitely felt much more natural. And then, so we were a three-piece for a bit. We played a few shows, and then we had a show just the other night at Munan's Post in Kelowna, and Kyle showed up. And we got talking, and we decided, well, let's get him on bass so that Justin can play guitar, because he originally wrote all the material and he's got the guitar licks down like to a dime. It's unreal.
The Munich show was originally on November 30th last year. Kyle came and saw it, and I guess he was impressed. And we've been looking for a fourth member for, I don't know, about a year now. And so he joined in January 2016.
Right. Yeah. So this lineup is quite a fresh lineup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty solid now, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
we're really happy where we are now.
Oh, that's awesome. So if you were explaining your style of music to someone that's never heard your music before, how would you describe it?
Well, I'd say it's mostly heavy metal with a mix of a lot of punk rock influences. It's really 80s influence, I'd say my writing style is, but we try to keep it current and relevant and catchy, and, you know, I'd say just thrashy metal crossover punk rock kind of, you know.
There's a bunch of bands actually that are kind of being called retro thrash, from it's like 80s kind of throwback kind of style. But I feel that our band doesn't really fall into that. We kind of have our own kind of sound, and I really like that.
It's hard for us to pinpoint our genre because all four of us come from very different backgrounds.
Right.
Justin, I guess I speak for myself when I say I listen to more new school metal, metal that's been made probably 2008, 9, 10, around there. Trend metal, as some people say, that's kind of my forte. And then...
Yeah, me, Justin, I listened to a lot of like 80s metal growing up, so that's where all my influences come from. And I started listening to a lot of punk rock recently because I liked just the simplicity and the energy of it. And, it's just catchy,
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I grew up listening to a lot of older school metal, early Metallica and stuff like that. And as I got older, I kind of went into the more extreme subgenres. But punk was always like an early influence for me because of the energy, like Justin said.
So you're pretty much into like similar bands and stuff like that, and that's pretty much where your sounds come from.
Actually, it's kind of the opposite. We all listen to very different bands. We all listen to very different bands. You're the death metal guy. Curtis is the death metal guy. This is the emo guy. I'm the core guy, and he's the punk guy. He's the
and
punk
blended
guy.
together, you've got Irradiation.
And that's why it's so hard for us to pinpoint a genre.
But honestly, that's one of the charms about it, because like we come from such different backgrounds. We throw it all into like this weird like this weird mixing pot.
A weird soup or something.
A weird soup, and some freakish thing comes out of it. A lot of bands these days, I find they just sound really homogenous, very similar.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay,
they find one band they like and then they just jump on it, play like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm so happy about our band, because all four of us come from such different backgrounds, and it just makes something totally different and new that you can't really tack a genre on.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll be listing 20 singles off your first EP shortly. But speaking of that first EP, First Strike, that was released in 2014. Is that right?
Yeah, that was with just me and Justin and Sam, who lives in Alberta now.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So can you talk me through the process of picking the songs that went on that EP to getting it ready for release?
We put the songs together from start to finish, and then we recorded them, and then we released them. We really didn't do much planning on the very first one. Mm-hmm. We just wanted to get material out there so that people could actually listen. And then we practiced mostly.
That was recorded at Cato, right? The studio there.
Yeah, that was recorded when we were in college at the Center of Arts and Technology.
Mm-hmm. And so is that the same with the artwork as well? You kind of just like pick something and...
He's the artwork guy. He's really good at what he does. He puts it all to, Justin puts all the artwork together himself on Photoshop.
Awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of it is kind of influenced by like the World War II warfare kind of stuff, because that's a lot some of our songs deal with.
Wow, that's so interesting. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to have a listen to Black Tape, but what's that song about?
That song's about drinking.
Okay.
It's like our drinking anthem, basically. It's like our version of "Have a Drink on Me" by AC/DC.
Okay.
We feel like you have to have a song that everybody in the bar can really relate to.
This is a fun song.
It's a fun song because you can't be serious all the time, right?
And does one of you want to introduce it?
We're Irradiation, and here is our single "Blacked Out" right here on WDCR.
Wake up to unfamiliar settings. I can't remember what happened yesterday. Dehydration, head is pounding. It's all a blur, brain stuck in a haze. I don't even know what happened last night. Monster chairs and broken glass, the remnants of a fight. Joint flooded bruises, not a pleasant sight. Ready to do it all again, to ignite. Drinking till we're blacked out drunk. Too drunk to really kill. Drinking till we're blacked out drunk. Too drunk to really kill. I don't get my head up, acting like a fool. Or if I end up in a full-looking control. Loud and obnoxious with new inhibitions. Look at me, funny or in critical condition. I don't even still happened last night. Hostages and broken glass, the remnants of a fight. Joint blood and bruises, not a place in sight. Where you do it all again, every night. Drinking silver glass drunk. There's nothing to really do. Drinking silver glass drunk. There's nothing to really do. Drinking silver glass drunk. There's nothing to really do. Drinking silver glass drunk. There's nothing to really give a flame.
You are listening to 95.1 WDCR Community Radio, also streaming live at www.wdcr.ca and on MixLR. I'm Charl Hoops, and you just heard Kelowna metal band Irradiation with Blacked Out off their first EP, First Strike, and I'm lucky enough to be joined in the studio right now with Kurt, Carl, Matt and Justin. So far, we've spoken about how you guys have got together, how you've developed your sound, and about your first EP. I'll be playing another track from these guys from their second EP shortly, but for now, let's get to know them a little bit more. So, Kurt, you and me spoke the other week, and we've actually got a mutual friend in Randy from Arkham Fire.
Yeah.
That guy I've discovered is extremely passionate about helping local bands promote themselves and get out there and stuff.
Oh yeah, he's very involved in the scene. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Has he helped you guys much?
Not lately. Mostly, just because he's been busy with his own thing. He's also planning to go back to school soon, so I think that's a part of it.
Didn't Randy get us our show at Munan's Post?
Yeah, that's right.
So he's a very good contributor.
Yeah,
he's a really, really cool guy. He's definitely passionate about it.
Yeah.
So in terms of like promoting your shows and EPs and yourselves as a band, how'd you get yourselves known?
We just played and played. It was hard for us because we didn't grow up in Kelowna. Me and Justin didn't grow up here. I'm originally from Saskatoon. Yeah. Matt speaking.
I'm originally from Grand Forks.
He's from Grand Forks, and
I'm from Nanaimo. Justin, all the way from Nanaimo, BC.
So it was really difficult for us to network and promote ourselves because we really didn't have much of a network here. Mm-hmm. So all we did was we literally just used word of mouth and tried to talk to as many people as possible about our first show. And then, you get the ball rolling.
It's been getting better, though. Ever since I finished school, I've had more free time to help promote the band and stuff online. And
Kurt's been doing a great job. He went down to Vancouver for a show. He went up to Vernon for a show. He's been networking like crazy for our band.
So would you say promotion's probably one of the biggest struggles as a new band?
Yes, promotion is a huge struggle as a band because everything is so saturated these days.
Especially if you don't know what you're doing too. I find that there's things that work and things that don't, right? Mm-hmm. So,
like what doesn't work?
One for sure, you need to have a website.
Right.
That's one for sure.
Okay.
And a platform to stream your music too. Right.
So what were the sorts of struggles have you guys come across apart from promotion?
The lack of promoters in Kelowna. There's a small scene in Vernon that's starting to grow. Mike Rogers, he's the guy who organizes Armstrong Metal Fest, but he lives in Vernon. He doesn't come out here very often, except for this radio show he does every weekend or something like that. But as for actual promoters, like venue promoters and stuff, there's not very many, if any.
It's so hit and miss.
Yeah.
Especially for us, because again, we really don't have a very large network out here.
Right.
Kelowna's all big on the electronic scene and stuff. It's not really a lot of metal fans, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So, as a band that are trying to get yourselves out there, how often do you guys meet and rehearse?
Once a week.
Yeah. Once a week.
So 4 times a month.
Right. Okay.
Because a lot of us work. Uh-huh. It's tough, right? But we would like to practice twice a week, maybe in the summer, but. Once a week is good enough for rehearsal.
So what kind of jobs do you do every day?
Every day? I'm a roofer by trade.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've been working for this guy doing some construction.
Okay.
I'm looking to apprentice under an electrician, but it's still kind of dead right now. So
that's another huge struggle in a band is finance.
Yeah. So what's the balance like for you in particular, trying to balance this and trying to earn?
It's really tough. It's really tough to keep to keep everybody happy. like my boss and my band and my girlfriend, and everybody has to be happy.
Especially when you start playing shows and you need to request time off all the time. That's always been something I've encountered a lot with my employers.
Right.
Yes.
And like you get some that are like really lenient and stuff, but then you get the ones that are just like, you can tell that
you got to stay till 5 today, 100%.
So there's plenty of struggles for sure.
There is, finding the time and finding the finances is really tough for a band, but that's, one of those things that only make you stronger in the end.
Mm-hmm. So when it comes to like studio time and stuff like that, so for the last 2 EPs that you've done, how much time have you put aside in the studio to get that EP up and running?
We do all of our recordings ourselves.
Oh, wow.
Everything. We do all the engineering, all the mastering, all the mixing, all the recording.
We all took audio engineering. I just did it at the college, and these 3 did it at Cato.
Yeah, every single one of us has an audio engineering diploma.
Pretty handy then.
Yeah,
it's pretty nice. So that's one thing that's really nice, because we don't have to waste a bunch of extra money on studio time and studio workers.
And we know what kind of sound that we want and how to get it, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to date, what's your proudest moment as a band?
Our priorities? Sorry, is that what you said? Priorities?
Sorry, your proudest moment?
Oh, proudest. Yeah. Sorry, I thought you said priorities.
It's my accent. It's fine.
Our proudest moment?
Yeah.
I would say when we did the first metal night at Munan's Post. We played the first metal night there, and the place was packed by the first band, and it was unbelievable.
They filled to capacity.
Yeah, they filled to capacity right off the bat, and everybody was really, really happy with our performance, and it was nice to get some home love, I guess you could say, some local, because it's hard when you're touring or when you're going out to other cities and stuff like that. You don't really...
Yeah, no one knows who you are.
Yeah.
Our promoter flakes out.
Yeah.
So what's your ultimate goal right now? So like this time next year, where do you guys see yourself?
Well...
we're going to have a solid album out within the next 6 months.
Okay.
It'll be our best album to date. It's going to have maybe 15 songs on it, and it's going to be...
Are we going to do an EP, though? I thought we were going to do an EP.
We also have an EP coming as well, a quick demo. We also have a quick demo coming out as well to show how we've progressed with our member lineup. But hopefully by the summer, we should have like a full-length album that's like... We're really, really excited to take everything that we've done over the last 2.5 years and just put it into something like perfect.
What I've been planning to do in the coming months is to send off some CDs of Retaliate and First Strike and maybe some of our newer demo stuff with the new lineup out to some small labels in the States and abroad, like Europe, because Europe has a pretty strong scene. I think they would like us a lot. So... Is
that another goal of yours, like to head over to Europe and the UK and get known over there?
Oh, yeah. That is our end goal, is to travel the world as a band and as a business.
Yeah.
Like
you know what I mean?
I see a lot of Canadian bands try to tour Canada, and I'm a little turned off by that because it's just Canada is so sparsely populated compared to, say, the States. It's really hard to travel between cities. It costs a lot for gas.
Oh, does it ever? It's very spread out.
Okay. So just talking about how big the heavy metal scene is in Europe, can you describe the Canadian metal scene for me? Like, is there one? What's it like in Okanagan?
Well, Vancouver's got a good base. Like, like every province has their own, like center, it seems. Like, like there's an Alberta scene, there's Saskatchewan scene, like all the way to the East Coast. I'm not familiar with out there, but like here, like in BC, it's, like...
It seems to be pretty strong in Toronto.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Like
Montreal maybe too.
Vancouver has a pretty good base. Like they've got a solid scene there, I'd say. Like they've got lots of like specific clubs for that kind of thing. They've been going for a long time. There are like lots of bands have come and gone through there. So like they've got like a big established kind of thing compared to, like here in the Okanagan. It's I like it in the Okanagan because it's just kind of coming up, like all these good bands are up and coming, like I think I see good things coming here in the future.
Kelowna is a very fresh place to live because it's expanding very fast. Nobody wants to go to Vancouver anymore. Everybody's coming here, and it's growing very, very fast.
Okay.
And that's why we kind of want to stay here.
Right. What kind of bands do you guys support out here? Are there any like that you go on close to for gigs or anything like that and cross promotion?
There was this one band out in Vancouver Island called Maiden BC. And they were an Iron Maiden tribute band, but they got us a show in Nanaimo and in Victoria, and they let us open up for them on the island, and that was really cool.
Yeah, they're pretty great guys too. Their lead singer Travis is a hilarious guy.
Really great guys. Yeah. A lot of the bands that we grew close with over the last 2 years are not together anymore. Like,
why is that? Is that because of the struggles?
Remember the Hippie Crits? They always gave us shows and everything like that, but I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Sky, but there's Randy's band that we talked about earlier, Arkenfire, and they're like a power metal band, pretty heavily influenced by Iron Maiden. Mm-hmm. And then there's also a death thrash band that I'm good friends with called Displaced. And they're influenced by kind of like the late 80s, early 90s thrash metal, death metal kind of thing, like Sadus, Sepultura. What else? Stuff like that. And there's also a brutal death metal band called Apollyon, kind of deathcore influenced, and they've been playing a lot of shows out in Vernon lately. So
we've been staying close to them for sure. We've been trying to stick close to them because they're on our level. Like they're kind of the same where we're at. And then I was just trying to think of that one band that really like. Oh yeah, Zool. Zool is one of my favorite. Zool is like my favorite local band. They're from Vernon. Yeah,
they're really influenced by Dissection and Behemoth.
Every time I see the guitar player Bill at shows, he's just so nice to me because that guy's like my idol. Like he plays really, really good guitar. He's probably one of the best guitar players here. And like, I don't know, he comes to every one of our shows and he's just so nice about everything. So that's one of the other bands that I've been really kind of staying close with.
So it sounds like the metal community, especially here in Kelowna, are quite tight-knitted. Like, you all kind of support one another. And
it can be tight-knitted, but to the point where it's almost isolated.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
in what ways?
Like cliquey almost, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the time you got all these subgenres that are all divided into specific scenes. Like there was Hard Loss Records and they only did hardcore shows, which is like the hardcore punk, like crazy stuff. And then there's Munit's Post. They only had a specific amount of metal bands playing there. And then who else? That's all I have to say about that. I lost my train of thought. Thank you.
So in terms of like venues in Kelowna, so where you go and play, what are the main venues that you go to?
The only real place in Kelowna really is Munit's Post, Viking themed restaurant that opened about a year ago now. And that's actually been kind of what's been, I feel, helping kind of make the scene grow, like local bands, because they let us play there for free.
Right.
We got our start at the Fed open mic night.
Yeah, Fed's so tiny.
That's where we started. Me and Justin and Sam went there one night when we thought we kind of had enough material put together.
That's actually one of the first times I saw you guys play.
Yeah,
I remember meeting you guys there.
Yeah, he played in a different band. You played in a different band.
At the time, I was playing like in this kind of like alternative grunge rock band called Azimuth.
Right. So the Fed was good. Fernando's is good. Fernando's is really good. Cool. There's Rutland Community Hall. They sometimes put on.
Yeah, Knights of Columbus Hall. Yeah, those are all ages shows.
Yeah. But again, like the scene is so tightly knitted. Like when you go to these other shows, like if I was to go to like the hardcore punk style show, I feel isolated because everybody there knows each other, and they all kind of stay close to each other. And if they see an outsider, you know, it's an outsider. But I don't think it should be like that. I think everybody should be super open to each other, especially in the metal community. It's all about togetherness in the metal community.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And it seems like the few times that we have played around here and stuff, the reception is just like people just don't really know what to think, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's not bad, but they just haven't heard our style before, I guess.
if you got a bunch of bands playing, new style, like 2015, 2014 kind of metal where it's super duper heavy and your strings are dropped down to drop Z or whatever. And then if we were to come into one of those shows and play or open up or whatever, everybody gets thrown off because they're all expecting, jun, like really heavy stuff all night. But then we come on and it's kind of punky and then we get the wrong reaction. Mm-hmm. And right. I don't know. I think Kelowna should have definitely a lot more, we should get a promoter that just does everything, like, you know what I mean? Like for metal subgenres and just like literally like, maybe we can do that, guys. Maybe we should just, we should just do that. We already do our own recordings and our own artwork. We might as well do our own shows.
So New Year's resolution, 3 months in.
We'll have more from Irradiation in a moment. But for now, this is a single called The Poisoning off their second EP, Retaliate.
Always been all around. Bodies turn to ash, sand burned into the ground. Rubble and ruin is all that can be found. Millions of lives to go, get lost around. Radioactive fallout, some irradiation. Organisms subjected to monstrous mutation. Of these survivors have no hope or salvation. The world decays, complete devastation.
Okay, this is DJ Charl Hoops, and you just tuned in to 95.1 WDCR Community Radio, streaming live at www.wdcr.ca. And I'm joined in the studio with Kyle, Kurt, Matt, and Justin of Irradiation. So can you explain what the track The Poisoning is all about?
Vocalist?
That track's mostly just about the horrors of, nuclear war and irradiation and stuff like that, just illustrating all what bad things can come from it, with a really brutal lens, right? And like really heavy lens.
Justin just kind of writes about like how or all of us in general, just how we see society and just like, like the wars and all that conflict that's going on right now. And the point of it is just so meaningless, It's all just about power, control.
We write really aggressive music, but we're all tree huggers.
Exactly.
That's the best
Canadian, right?
Secret.
Flannel, and axes.
So if anyone wanted to get a hold of your music, where can they find it?
Bandcamp.
They can stream it on SoundCloud. They can stream it off of YouTube. But yeah, Bandcamp and SoundCloud are the main kind of sources right now.
Mm-hmm. And the 2 EPs, First Strike and Retaliate, how would you explain the difference between the two? Like, do you reckon you've grown since doing the first one?
We recorded those 2 EPs pretty close together, sort of. It was like a few months between them. So they're pretty kind of similar to like each other in terms of songwriting style.
Well, Sam was playing guitar on all of them, wasn't he?
Yeah, Sam was the one playing guitar on all those ones. So it's just it was when we were all in audio engineering school, so we had the opportunities, the studio, so there's not much kind of difference too much. I learned a bit more production values and added some cool little samples here and there. Spice it up.
I definitely say that Retaliate is more thrash metal, on the more thrash side, and then First Strike is more punky. The songs are more shorter, more direct, I guess.
Yeah.
So by the time it comes to your album or your third EP, you reckon that you're going to have grown a lot more as a band? As this lineup?
Already.
There's one song that we do that's called Among Us, and it uses a really off-kilter beat, and I like it a lot.
We've grown a lot. We really wish that we had some high-value production to show how us 4 operate together, but that's going to have to wait because we're still in the lab.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, we're just recording in Justin's house, but his basement's under renovation. Hopefully, it's done by the summer, and by then we should have a nice space that we can treat acoustically and turn into a studio.
Our jam space pretty much is our studio. There's been times where Justin has just put microphones all over the room, and we played. We actually have a whole demo on SoundCloud of just microphones put up in a room and us playing all together.
And I think that was our first rehearsal as a 4-piece too.
Yeah, and it sounds really good actually. So I mean, if you want to go on SoundCloud and check out that, there's another playlist on there, which is actually, I guess you could say, kind of like a hidden album kind of deal. It's kind of like a hidden.
Yeah, the cover has a soldier on top of a tank. It's like called 12-track jam session.
Yeah. There's only 12 tracks, right? 12 mics?
12 mics and 12 tracks or something like that, yeah.
And it turned out actually really well for 12 tracks. I think it's tight.
We were really happy. I wish we had brought some of that to show you guys.
And when can we look forward to this next album?
Either, I don't know, maybe summer or fall. We want to get it out sometime this year, hopefully.
Okay.
I think.
I'm thinking July or August, definitely.
Yeah.
July or August, midsummer.
We also got some shows coming up too. Our next one will be at Mutants again. It's their 1-year anniversary since opening. That'll be April 22nd.
Right, our first headline.
And then we'll have another show out in Vernon at the Vertigo Art Gallery May 16th.
Ooh, I didn't even hear about that one. That's exciting.
It's new news.
You heard it here first.
Kurt's real good at that stuff.
On top of it. Anyway, and then hopefully we'll be playing some more shows in Vernon this summer. I think we also might be playing on Chaos. It's this radio show broadcasts, I think, downtown Kelowna, internet radio, sometime in August or September, because right now their queue is pretty full. They have a whole bunch of other bands playing before us,
So people can check all this out, I'm guessing, on social media. So how can they find all this out?
Just go to our site, www.irradiationmusic.ml. Weird domain name. But we have links to our stuff for Bandcamp, YouTube, our Facebook page.
Yeah, we also have a Facebook page, which we're trying our best to, as the likes go up, we'll start, regulating it properly and whatnot. But as of now, we just let people know when our shows are. And I posted a photo of our radio show today, so that was exciting.
Awesome. So the guys of Irradiation right here in the studio. We will be back right after some Demise of the Crown and Audio Slave. Audio Slave with Show Me How to Live. Chris Cornell is actually touring this year, and he's set to play at the Royal Theatre in Victoria on July 21st and the Northern Alberta Jubilee or Auditorium in Edmonton on July 23rd, along with gigs in Calgary, Regina and Winnipeg. So go and check those out if you're a big fan like me. So me and the guys of Irradiation are wrapping up now. So guys, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you all. So just one last thing, for one last time, can you just all say where people can get in touch and where they can source the music?
You can find us on Facebook. Our page is just Irradiation in all capital letters. And there you'll find all sorts of links to our Bandcamp and to our SoundCloud and to our...
And our homepage is www.irradiationmusic.ml, and it contains links for SoundCloud and everything else too.
Everything is so interlinked.
And you can also just contact us on Facebook. All of us. Yeah, I don't need to say our first and last names.
Add us up. We already did.
Cool. Well, guys, thank you again. It's been an absolute pleasure. And for you, you've tuned into WDCR Community Radio, streaming live at www.wdcr.ca. I'm Charl Hoops, and you've been listening to the British Invasion Metal and Variety Show. And to end this week's show, as a tribute to St. Paddy's Day for last week, I'm ending with one of my favourite Irish artists of all time. So here's Hosier, and you have a fantastic week.